Welcome, I'm Rabbi Phil Bressler of Beit Am in Corvallis, Oregon, and this is the daily summary video for the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch Yomi Daily Halakha Learning Project, covering the passage from Siman 79 Seif 2 to Siman 79 Seif 10. You can find links to the Hebrew and English text of this passage and to the calendar of upcoming passages in this video's description. We're going to keep talking about maftir and haftarah, and it occurs to me that not everyone who's listening may be familiar with this tradition. I know it's something I didn't grow up with in my Reform synagogue, but the idea of a maftir aliyah, an additional aliyah, that goes specifically to the person who is charged with chanting haftarah, basically is to make sure that it's clear what the priority is, and that Torah is most important, more so than the prophetic readings, although they're still important too. And so most of the rituals around this are designed to make sure that the maftir reading is prioritized above the haftarah, but also sufficiently separated from the 7 aliyot of Shabbat. So it's important that you dress the maftir scroll before you start haftarah. This should be familiar from the sequence of events in synagogue. After the reading is completed, we lift and dress the Torah scroll and make sure it is safely stored either on the reading table or in the special Torah holder before we begin the haftarah reading. Sometimes in an extended bracha, you'll have a Baruch Atah Adonai somewhere in the middle, and the haftarah blessings are an example of this. It's important not to answer Amen, even though your reflex might prompt you to do so. Don't answer Amen until the whole thing is over. Shh. No talking during the haftarah reading. The Kitzur is clear on this. It sounds like one of those things that, why would you have to say that unless it was a problem? So I wonder if in Udvar there was a big problem with talking during the haftarah reading that Rabbi Gansfried felt he needed to address. Some people want to read along with the haftarah reading, although the Kitzur seems to think it's better to mostly just let the reader do their thing. On Shabbatot, when there is a double parsha, you read the haftarah from the second of the 2 parshiot. There's one exception to this, which is when Acharei Mot and Kedoshim are combined. I'm not totally sure why this is, but you read Acharei Mot's haftarah and not Kedoshim's. There's a special haftarah when Shabbat is also Rosh Chodesh, or when Shabbat is the day before Rosh Chodesh, and that overrides the haftarah that would normally be associated with that parsha. If you are the haftarah reader, pay attention to the notes in your siddur when you're reciting the after bracha. It's different when you're on Yom Tov, and it might be different on Chol HaMoed. It is different on Sukkot, but not on Pesach. So you really have to pay attention to what day it is and what lines are called for. Minors, those below the age of bar bat mitzvah, can read from the haftarah if they're old enough to know what they're doing. There are some exceptions to this, though, for particular occasions when you really should call an adult. And as a general rule, make sure the Torah reading, as I said, takes precedence over the haftarah reading from the prophetic books, and that it's accorded more honor. That's all for today. As always, our learning is dedicated to Rabbi Shlomo Gansfried, the author of the Kitzur, and the historic Jewish community of Uzhhorod, Ukraine. See you tomorrow.